All right, we're gonna try something new today. I'm gonna do my first map tour. This is gonna be on Loma, Montana, that's currently in its beta test phase. If any of you have played No Creek Farms or Medicine Creek in past iterations of Farming Simulator, then you'll probably enjoy this map because the map maker is one and the same. So let me get loaded in and let's get started. So like I said, we are on Loma, Montana. This is beta test version 2. If you want your own copy of this map, then you're going to have to find No Creek Farms on Patreon. Go through his posts, find the instructions on how to get your copy of this map. It's a little bit of a painstaking process, but I 100% agree with how he is doing things. Basically, when you request a beta test copy of this map, he is giving your own individually serialized version of this map, so that if it ends up getting leaked onto a mod site, he can go into the files, find that serial number, and figure out who leaked it. So it's a little bit of a painstaking process, but it's worth it. When you first load into the map, you do not own a starting house. You have a starting farm, but you load in here on the hills in the middle of the prairie. So what we're going to do is, if I'm going to bring up my map, that's the first thing I'm going to do here. When you first load in, this is in new farmer mode. You own fields 18 and 19 here. You have some equipment here and a few sheds, but there is no farmhouse on this land. And then we have a train rental place, a hay shed, and a small cow pasture that is already part of your farm. So let's just go ahead and jump in and show you that part of it. So here is all of your starting equipment is lined up right here on the edge of the map. So you have a Krone mower here, you have a Kuhn tedder, a Kuhn baler, a Kuhn rake, you have a cultivator, a seeder, a Flegel tippered wagon, and then you have, oh, don't go that way, I'll run into the barbed wire fence. And then you have a Massey Ferguson Ideal 7 PL combine with a grain header, and a Massey Ferguson 7722 tractor. So that's everything that you start with as far as equipment. Here's your two fields back here. There's nothing on them. And then you have one small shed here. We are going to run across the road real quick. Then you have your bale shed right here. And across the way, you have your quote-unquote small cattle pasture. This is one of 3 farms on this map. And I say small cattle pasture here because that's what it says in quotations. I say because it holds 1,000 cows. So you can put 1,000 cows in here. You only need to feed them and give them straw. They will produce slurry and manure, but you do not need to give them water. You can see over there in the distance is your trigger to feed them. And I got a conflict going on here. I think I know what it is. I forgot to disable one of my mods that I think has figured out, that I've figured out is the one that's causing all these issues that I've been having. So you have your feed point over there, your water, and then your straw could go in this shed here. That is your starting farm. That is everything you start with on this map. So what I'm going to do is I am going to jump into a different game save real quick where I already have a pickup truck, and we'll do our map tour. Alright, we're back at the dealership. I went ahead and got a couple of pickups here. Actually, that's the pickup I'm using for my save game that I've started, but I just leased this little one because it's a little bit quieter so you can hear me better. So one thing we're gonna do real quick just to do this map tour. So I'm gonna load in the map again real quick so you can see we are over here at the dealership. Across the way we have Fort Benton Ag Solutions and a petrol tank. You can see here that we have our hay shed, our cow pasture, the rent train there at the elevator in town. Up here you have Big Sandy Grain up here on the edge of the map. I believe that is the train sell point, but we'll go check that out in a second. And then down here you have Black Bluffs Grain, which is also going to be your wood sell point. So in order to do this map tour and show you everything that's on here, I'm going to use my easy developer tools real quick and do some cheating. I'm going to go in here and I am going to set all farmlands to my farm. So now I own all 41 of the farmlands on this map, and this will allow us to see everything. So now you can see farm number 2 over here, farm number 3 over here. These two farms have farmhouses. This farm here where you start in town does not, but now you can see we have the grain silo here in town. We have another cow pasture up here, and then we have this other farm down here. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to drive around, check out some of the items on the map. I'm going to bring up my... No, I got my HUD turned off, so I can't bring up my mini map. So let me go ahead and bring that back on so I can bring up the mini map so we can see where we're at. So there you can see down at the bottom, I can bring up the mini map again. You can see we're there on the very edge. So we're just going to go up here and see how many times I can crash while we do this. There's most of the roads on this map are gravel roads, but there is one main highway that kind of crosses everything, and that is right up here. You can kind of see the traffic on it already as I drive on the wrong side of the road. So if we turn left right here, back off onto this main highway, you'll go back up and you can see the dealership up there on the left, and then you can see this little small co-op point over here on the right. We turn in here, follow that car in. That's one of the things I noticed. That's one of the things I already like about this map is on most maps the vehicles only stay on the main roads, but as you saw there, that car turned off onto one of these gravel roads that goes into the backside of town. So I really like that. That's one thing I've noticed so far. And then so you go up here and it looks like we have fill points probably for seeds, and I'm guessing there's 2 of them there, so I'm guessing that's going to be for seed and solid fertilizer. And then you have a fuel tank there on the back side of this little co-op shed. This road right here just takes us back along the river back there on the edge of the map, so we're not going to go check that out right now. Got another vehicle turning in here. Now we will go over here, avoid another collision, and we are going to head into the town first. I'm going to show you the town, and then I'm going to show you the 2 farms and the sell points. What do we have right here? I just noticed there's something with a marker down here that doesn't show up on the map, so we're going to off-road it a little bit. What do we have down here? This is our animal dealer. So the icon for the animal dealer is not showing up on the map, but it is right down here off of field 20. So there is our animal dealer. Let's get turned around. Now we're just gonna off-road it. Why not? Well, we can't go across the river right there, so we'll just go back up onto the bridge. The river, that is one of the items that has not been completed yet. You can actually drive across the river. I did that the other day, just playing around on this map. There are a couple of recreation spots on here. You know, for those of you that like to do a little bit of role play, one of them is right down here. You can cross the railroad tracks, and there's just a little parking area right here alongside the river. You can go fishing and whatnot. And like I said, it doesn't look like the water plane's been quite properly built in here, so you can go in here and your vehicle will actually kind of stay on top of the water. I'm sure that's something that'll be worked on in a future update, focusing on more of the main gameplay items so far. So go up. I already showed you so here we are at the starting farm. You can see some of our equipment is still out there. We can go back around the back side of our small pasture here, and we will come up to this first grain elevator right here, this first sell point. You can see over there on the railroad tracks where you can load the train. A little bit of a construction site, like I had a little mudslide there. Just a neat little addition to the map there. So there you can see over there, you can fill and dump the train. You can also fill and dump in here, which means this might be a buy point where you can buy things as well. We'll go into the town here on our way back. Again, like I said, I love how the traffic takes these back roads on this map. So right here, if I go straight, you just end up there on fields 15 and 13. But we're going to turn and take this road here past field 14 on the other side of the railroad tracks. Watch out for that Dodge Ram right there. Well, I guess they're just Ram now. They're not Dodge Ram anymore. And we're going to take this gravel road all the way out. This is the farm that I have decided to use in my assistance with testing this map and trying to find bugs. Like I said, the only thing I've found so far is that you can drive across the water because the water plane hasn't been built yet. But I can send the map maker a message on Patreon or Discord and ask about that. So here to the right, you just have some grasslands, and then you got the trees where the river is, and then right up here around the bend. And if you are like me and you grown up around cattle ranches and just ranching or cattle farming in general, this will probably pique your interest too. But so we got field 10 and field 9 right here at the bottom of the hill, but we are going to take a left here. This is our driveway to the farm. You can see a nice cattle gate down here, and that's nice auto gate, cattle guard. There's different names for them. You wind your way up through the hill, and here, if you turn left, you will go to the farm. But if you turn right, you will wind your way around to your farmhouse with an amazing view over the valley of the river. Looks like this is one of the Elk Creek farmhouses, but you can pull right up here and you can see the view that you have looking down over the valley, the train tracks and the road down below, the fields that are across the way, the river. Just an amazing view. And then if you go back across your auto gate here, you will find that you have your cattle farm. So right now you can see where I'm at on the map down here. You know, you get all of this wide open grassland, but your pasture point is over here. So there's mods, there's open pasture mods, so if you wanted to, you could put a second pasture point up here and kind of use the idea of looking like you're free roaming. I'm cutting across the grass, but you can see the driveway right there. And you come up to your cattle loadout, and this is going to be your quote-unquote large cattle pasture, but it also holds 1,000 cows, just like the one down below on the town. So if you want to run a cattle farm, you have 2 preset pastures that you have. And you can see all over the map here, you can see all these other grassy areas here off of field 8, field 7, field 6, all these additional grassy areas where you could build yourself some more pastures if you wanted to. There's your feed point, and you can see there the automatic watering system. You go through another auto gate here, you have a bale shed, you have some silos, you have some fertilizer and seed storage, you have a fuel tank, and you have a couple of sheds over here for your equipment. And if you go straight, you have fields 11 and 12. Now this is another thing where if you wanted to, you can see over here on the other side of field 11, that again is all fenced off for you to use. So if you wanted to, and I've experimented this before, you are able to come in here even on this beta and remove a couple of these fences. So if I wanted to, and I can't remember if these are under fence or if they're under decoration, but you can put another auto gate or you can put a regular gate there, and then you could go out here and you could take one of these open pasture mods like this one, Pasture Anywhere. The white, so on this mod, the white is going to be where your cattle will spawn and stay in, but you can drop that down. You can get rid of that barrier, and there you go. Now you have another small pasture with 250 cows. So there's plenty of spots to do this on this map. That's kind of how I'm playing it right now, because I grew up with working on our family farm, my grandpa's farm. We grew cattle. We did feeder or beef cattle and feeder pigs. But I do have a cousin that has a large-scale Red Angus purebred operation in Nebraska, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Now, I did notice too that under construction mode, you should have the ability, so you can delete these items and sell them. Like there, I just accidentally sold one of our silos, but that's going to be okay. I don't think we needed that many of them anyway. So you can delete the buildings and sell them. You can remove the fences. So for those of you that like to customize, there's the ability to do that. We're going to go back down the hill now. We're going to go up. I'm pretty sure that sell point on the edge of the map is the train sell point, but we'll drive up there just to check it out. If I can stay on the road, which I can't right now. Let me zoom out a little bit. That might make it easier. If I get a chance to capture the train on here, I'll show you. If any of you have played on Tahitian, Iowa, similar train to that, my 7-year-old actually sat here the other day and counted, and there are 45 train cars on the train on this map. So again, like I said, traffic on the gravel road, and it goes off to the side like it like it normally would. Growing up in central Nebraska, you would try to drive in the center of the gravel road, and if somebody was coming the other way, then you would kind of go off to the side to your own spot. So yeah, we're here at the edge of the map. There's nothing here, so yeah, that's just going to be your train sell point there. And I see the train coming across the town now, so we will end up running into it because we have to go all the way back through the town now to get to the other side of the river. So now we have to go all the way back into the town to get on the main highway to cross the river to come out and explore the rest of these farmlands. So that's what we're going to do real quick. I am not going to time lapse it. I'm just going to drive so that you guys can see what is out here on this map. So just to give you an idea of what I've been doing on my game save that I'm doing as I test this out, like I said, I'm using this cattle farm up here. I'm using the small cow pasture near the town as well. I'm using fields 18 and 19 down there for my hay, and then I'm using fields 9, 10, 11, and 12 for my straw crops and my grain and such that I need for my cow feed. I am using an ethanol plant mod that I found that creates corn gluten meal as a byproduct, which is something that we use in central Nebraska. Is that corn mash that's a byproduct of the ethanol plants, and we use that as a mineral supplement in our cow feed. So I'm using that, and here you go. Here's the train. So if I remember right, you got a couple of Burlington Northern engines on the front, and then 45 train cars, I believe is what my 7-year-old counted the other day when he was playing it. So if you've seen the long train on Tahiti, Iowa, well, this one's got a long train too. And as you can see, we're not meeting any cars right now because they're stuck on the other side of the train tracks up here at the crossing, waiting for the train to clear. I haven't really gone into the town much yet in my gameplay, so we're going to check that out quick once we can get across the railroad tracks here. Come on, folks. Green light. There we go. So you can cross the railroad tracks. You can go into town here. Like I said, none of these are all decorational houses. I don't think any of them have sleep triggers or anything on them. So you do have a little town here, all with gravel roads. Looks like somebody's got a... Looks like there's another option right there for a small cow pasture. Even looks like there's a gate on it. Is there a... I don't see a trigger on there, but there's another small area for you to use for your role play. Do you want to run some goats or something in town? You got a little small plot there to do it. You have another grassland over here on the back side of the town where you can put a another small pasture down. You got a little bit of a junkyard here on this house. Every small town has one of those at least. The house that has the junk pile in the back. So pretty decent job on the town. Right now there's no sell points down. I don't know if that's a future plan. I'd have to go back and read through the notes on Patreon and on Discord to see if there's a plan to add any restaurants or grocery stores or farmer market. But there's plenty of room right here if you buy these. If you buy field 16 right here on the back side of town, there's plenty of space there for you to put up some of your own productions. If you wanted to. Yeah, pretty good job on the town. Not cookie cutter, different types of houses. You got some carports, got some garages, some basketball hoops. And then you come back out here to the main road. The one paved road. Like I said, again, there's another spot right here, maybe for some sell points. You got some barricades up here. Looks like maybe a place there you can put a sell point. So that's Earth Science Museum. But again, there's a couple of spots right here on the edge of town where you can put down some of your own productions and sell points once you get to that point. Like I said, I'm going to be putting down an ethanol plant and a meat packing plant as part of my gameplay series that I'm doing on here, and it's all going to be on some of those plots there on the backside. So now we get here. I could continue going straight back to the dealership where we started, but now we're going to turn left and we are going to go explore the final farm on this, the final pre-built farm on this map. If you turn right there, there's a back entrance into the dealership, and yet another small grassy area there for you to put a small pasture if you wanted to. For those of you that grow up cattle ranching, you know you often keep the bulls and the heifers and the steers and the yearlings. They all kind of have their own areas, and you move them around so that you don't kill off the grass due to overusage. More fields along here on the bottom, and then we're going to start working our way up the hills. Now this farm is going to be your large scale grain farm. So as you're coming up the hill here, and I need to learn on work on my driving, almost all the way up the hill, if you turn to the left here, there's another recreational area here, just a parking area. If you get some small ATVs or motorcycles or something, there is a small gate there, and there are some trails there. But it's also an area if you wanted to, put down a cattle pasture. I guess you could use that to your advantage. We're gonna go across the way here. A couple more grassy areas at the bottom of this driveway. So once again, a couple of more options for some cattle pastures. And if you wanted to use both farms together, that'd be a great option because you have more grassy areas. So you could put a couple of large pastures over here on the driveway going up to this farm as well, and then use the large field. So this is going to be your large grain farm, and you can see just looking at field 24 and field 29 here what you're looking at. Let me see if, I don't know that I have my field info on here, but let me go, and actually that's the wrong menu. Let me go into my farmland menu and see what this just happens to say. Field 40, it doesn't give me, so the field areas aren't built, but field 40 and field 36 are pretty large right here. Let me see if I get out and walk and see if it shows up. It does not. So, oh, there we go. Field area 24, 181 acres. So you got a nice large field there to use. And then you have your setup right over here for your, this is going to be your grain and row crop farm. So you got two large sheds here. These look like modifications of, I'm trying to think who made those, but I've seen those sheds before. You have your grain dryer over here on the side, silos for your seed and fertilizer. I forget who makes this shed. I think that might be, I don't remember if that's a legacy ag shed. Don't remember off the top of my head who made that one. But that's the same shed that's down below next to the pasture. A large equipment shed here that's going to have a workshop and whatnot inside of it, and then your second farmhouse, your second usable farmhouse that is on this map here. This one has the sleep trigger on the porch, so this is not one that you can physically go into, but it still has a view. So we'll loop around the yard here, go back out. A couple more things I want to show you guys on this map tour. But then again, like I said, you can see the wide open spaces, the area to put down some cattle pastures. Show you a couple more things, then I'm going to go into the menu and show you some of the custom crops that are on here. That's one thing I haven't looked at yet, to actually see if there's a custom crop calendar with it. I know there's some custom crop cell type or sellable crops. So We'll look at those in just a second. So you wind all the way back down your driveway, and from here there's a couple of things you can do. You can turn left and go back into town, but we're going to turn right and we're going to go down here. We're not going to drive all the way, so I could drive all the way across the river up here, but across the way, fields 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so fields 1 through 8 over there, just fields. There are a couple of spots over there that if you wanted to level off the land and build your own farm, that would be a possibility. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take a left. Nope, we're going to take a right. And we're going to follow this road that goes along the river. And this is the last little thing that I want to show you guys on here. We're going to drive all the way back here to our other sell point. It's way back here in the back. Sorry, I'm driving with one hand because I just had one of my cats come in and try to jump on my lap. Now, if we stop here, you'll see that there's a couple of signs. So on this side, you have Decision Point Wood Bottom Recreation Area is in 1 mile, and then you have your Upper Missouri River Breaks National Monument, National Wild and Scenic River Lewis and Clark National Historical Trail. So some realistic signs there and some realistic landmarks. And then on this side, you just have a sign for the Loma Bridge. So if you continue up, and if you remember, it said about a mile up the road on your right, it was the National Monument. So you keep driving, you have a couple of fields down here. I mean, you can drive on the roads if you want to, but it's fun to drive on the grass too. So now you look here, you have a little bit of a recreational area here. You drive in here, you just got some picnic benches, little picnic pavilion, a little parking area that kind of ties into a beach area down onto the river. So if you wanted to role play, go fishing, go swimming, come out here, go camping, a little recreational area there. Continue on down this road. And this should be where your national, I forget exactly where it's at. You can see there another little parking area, spot to go swimming, spot to go fishing, for those of you, again, that role play. I feel like I saw somewhere he's got some plans for this area to actually turn this into the national park area. He has asked for people to send actual pictures of the monuments and some of the other key parts of this national park so he can build them into the map. But I feel like that's what his plan was to do with this area right here. You can see over there the trails that go up the hills and whatnot. But we're gonna wind our way back in here, all the way back to our last sell point. There you can see the granary all the way back in here all by itself. Road branches off so you can go to some of these other fields that are right here on the edge of the map. Nice scenic view of the cliffs, but here's your other sell point. This is also, if you sorry about that, I'm still coughing a little bit, getting over some strep throat, but you can sell grain, but you can also sell that exclamation point that you see right there is your wood sell point. So if you wanted to do some forestry on this map, you do have a wood sell point. So that's the basics of the map tour. Like I said, it's still a work in progress, so by the time you get the final product, a lot of this other stuff will be filled in. There'll be some more landmarks added, probably some sell points. I don't know if there'll be any additional farms built, but I'm enjoying this map so far. I haven't found too many bugs other than being able to drive across the river because the water plane hasn't been updated yet. Let's see. I'm actually going to see if I can do that right here for you guys instead of driving all the way around to these fields on the other side. Let's try this. You can go in here and you can see right there, you can just scoot right across the top of the river. Scoot right across the top of the river again. So that's still something that's a work in progress. And then we can jump up here and go check out these other fields here on this side. Again, right here off of field 7, more wide open pasture area with a fence. So again, if you wanted to put down a pasture over here, you could. Hopefully I can find a way out of here. I'm trying to work my way to the road over here. Also a great map for you to grab some four-wheelers and some ATVs, even if you wanted to do horses. Alright, so let's see. Does this fence go all the way around, or is there a gate somewhere for us to get out of here? If there's not a gate around here for us to get out of here, we can make one. Because we can delete just a section of the fence. I'm not seeing any gates. This looks like a good spot right here. So I'm gonna jump in here real quick and make me a gate. Now we can get out. And like I said, this is an area. This is one of the areas on the map that is prime for you to kind of do your own thing. Like I said, you have a couple more pasture lands here if you want to use them. But then you have fields 1 through 6 up here. Like you said, right here, look at this, right across from field 4. You take out that fence, there's the gate, all the way up here. So I finally found the gate. There's our gate right there. Perfect area again, put down a cattle pasture, perfect area to build your own farm. All of this right here is just a fairly flat area, so if you wanted to build a farm up here, this would be your spot to do it. You can curve to the right here and go down to fields 5 and 6, or you can take a left and wind all the way through here up to fields 1 and 2. But yeah, that's it. That's this map tour in a nutshell. That's everything that's on it right now. Again, this is just beta test version 2. I expect a lot more to come with this by the time it is released for public use. You'll probably get some more in-depth map tours from some more famous, more well-known YouTubers than myself, but I wanted to take my chance to do something I hadn't done yet. So let's jump in. Again, apologize for the coughing. So you can see here wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, grapes. You got a lot of your standard crop grain game crops in here. But if you go down a little bit further, you will see down here we have dry corn, we have flax, we have peas, we have lentils, we have flax straw, rye, millet, alfalfa, clover, dry corn. This meat is from a mod that I added in. All these, sorry, I might have to edit that part out. We'll see. Here's my corn gluten meal, my soybean meal, canola meal, sorghum meal. All of that comes off of the ethanol plant. And then you have dry wheat, dry barley, dry oats, But you can see that I think that's because I have the corn dryer on here, but there's no sell points for those. There's a way to add those in. Your gas, goat milk. So there's a way to add sell points for that stuff. And let's look at the crop calendar. So yeah, wheat can go in April and May, come out in September. You only got, or you can plant it in September. I don't know what the normal crop rotation for Montana is, but this looks, yeah. On some other maps, you have the ability to plant corn earlier in the year, but you have to wait till May. Same thing with soybeans. So it does look like there is a partial custom crop calendar built in as well. So, like I said, if you guys want to take part in this map, Loma, Montana, look up No Creek Farms on Facebook or Patreon. Follow the instructions on how to send him a direct message. You have to read his page to find it. There is a specific instruction to follow in order to get your own serial numbered copy of this map. But that is what we have for you for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this short map tour of Loma, Montana by No Creek Farms. I look forward to providing more updates in the future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit a like or a subscribe or a notification. And if you want to see me do some more map tours like this, I'm also working on Lincoln Creek and a couple other maps that are in beta testing. So if you would like to see some of those, just let me know in the comments and I will see what I can do. But thank you for watching.